G'day everyone, this is Health Highlights. Health Highlights is a show about health, health professionals and the people and the stories behind the names we hear about but we seldom get to meet. Now in the fitness world, personal training has just taken off. It's actually doubled in the last decade. And that is a fantastic thing because we need to get more active in our community. And today we're here on the cutting edge of PT in the Hunter region with Adam Prowse. How are you, Adam?
I'm great, thank you.
Thank you so much for allowing us to come into this amazing studio here in Spears Point.
Thanks for having me, I really appreciate it, so it should be good.
So firstly, tell us, how did you get involved in personal training?
Yeah, well, I sort of just had a bit of I've always grown up playing sport and being quite interested in physical fitness and that sort of thing, and then I did what everyone does and got a basic gym membership and started out there, and then realised I really have a bit of a passion for it, enjoy it, so I thought I'll try it out, and here I am, 14 years later, still going strong.
And two centres?
Two studios now. I've got one in Maitland and obviously one here in Boolaroo, which, I've probably been in business about 10 years now, and I've been in the industry 14 years, so it feels like it hasn't been that long, but it's been a big 14 years, and I've learned a lot and really enjoyed it along the way. So
awesome, that is what we want to hear. So you've obviously been a part of that boom in the last 10 years. What would you attribute the PT boom to in our country?
Yeah, look, I think a lot of people, they want to get fitter and they want to feel better and they want to enjoy the healthy lifestyle and that sort of thing. I mean, obviously there's things like obesity rising and diabetes and all those sort of health-related diseases, but I think that's part of it. Yep. I think the other part is, if you look back 20, 30 years ago, there was a lot less people doing gyms and physical stuff. It was probably more to sports and things, where now we're naturally a sporting nation, so you've got a lot of people play sport, but then they're also, looking into things like this as your general population just want to get fit and feel better and get into it. So yeah,
awesome,
it's good.
So one of the questions is, well, where does a PT actually fit in the whole realm of the health industry? What's your place?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. It's a sort of funny one because I always saw it like the physical training was probably more of our thing. But I look at it now and it's sort of like you've got your physios and you've got your dietitians and you've got all your sort of, specialists in certain areas. And I think we're sort of sitting underneath them, obviously, in a little bit of a realm of all of it.
Yep.
Because obviously we're dealing with people that want to lose weight and tone up, so we've got to know a bit of diet stuff, but we can't really be, to the level that a dietitian would be able to give you the advice and that sort of thing, but we've got to know a fair bit of diet because we're going to get asked a lot. On top of that, look, whenever you're training and you're moving your body a lot, injuries sort of tend to be a part of that, whether you're playing sport or doing a boot camp or personal training or whatever it is. So we tend to have to go into a bit of rehab stuff and know how to help people not get injuries and also fix injuries, because someone gets injured, you send them to a physio who specialises in that. They'll help me get a bit of a solution around the industry, that's around the injury, then they might send them back to us to do a bit more strengthening of that area. So yeah, I guess you sort of dabble in a lot of things.
Multi-talented, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, I see. That's why I don't understand, if you're a trainer, you can't just be too one-sided with things. You've got to really have a pretty open mind and be able to sort of dabble in a lot of things and have a decent knowledge around a fair bit of it. So
yeah, that's great. That's great. So look, I know one of the things that you guys particularly specialise in is weight loss.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, what would you say is the best way to lose weight? Is it cardio? Is it weight training?
Yep.
Yeah. What's your opinion?
It's a mixture of a few things.
Yep.
I mean, you've got to have cardio training in there for sure.
Yep.
You've got to have weight training in there, and you've got to have decent dieting in there and healthy eating. And it's just a ratio of all three, depending what you need to be doing. So obviously, if someone really needs to lose a lot of weight, I'd say it's more your diet and your cardio with a little bit of weight training.
Yep.
Obviously, as someone's lost weight and they're looking more to tone up, you're probably going more into your weight training with a little bit less cardio, but still diet's important. So you sort of, I guess, the main three, you've got to have the weights, cardio, and diet all in a good balance that makes sense for your goal at the time. So it's about being goal specific and really looking at what's going to suit that person at the stage they're in and developing from there. So.
And that's an interesting point, goal specific. I mean, a bit of it is really being a coach to their health. Really, that's what you're doing.
That's exactly
you're right on the
it
sidelines, just getting them going.
That's exactly what it is. And if you look at the sporting world, the trainer runs the drink bottles out to the players, but the coach has all the strategy and all the means to how it's all going to happen. So I actually tell my guys, you're really more like a coach than a trainer, because the training and the physical part is one thing, but the strategy of how someone gets to a goal is a way bigger thing. So for instance, if you've got someone who's training regularly and you can help them with their diet throughout the week, and you can make sure they're making sessions all the time and the sessions are the right type of training for what they need, that's going to be a way bigger effect on the person rather than just mindlessly training them for whatever. So
yeah, that's great. That's great. So look, if I was just starting out, just wanting to get fit, what would you recommend is probably the best way to get? Is it cardio more, or get into the weights, or does it depend on the goals that the person has?
Yeah, it really depends on the goals.
Yep.
If someone didn't really have much weight to lose and they wanted to start to really just get fitter and stronger and tone up and that sort of thing, I'd say, look, you're probably going to focus 70% of your training on weights, 30% on cardio, that sort of thing, and go down that path. If someone's really sort of unfit and wants to lose weight and that sort of thing, I'd probably go the other way, more like 70% cardio, 30% weights, that sort of mix. And then obviously the amount of diet that comes into it too. Because, if you've got someone that's quite slim that wants to really start building some serious muscle, it's okay for them to have some extra calories and things. It's not going to matter. That's going to help them build muscle.
Yeah.
On the other side of the coin, if you've got someone who wants to lose 30 kilo and whatever else, the calories and everything become a lot more important, and the cardio becomes a lot more, needed, I guess. It's a big difference.
Awesome.
It's very goal specific.
Yeah, I understand that. So look, there's a huge range of things that you have. So you've got one-on-one training, you have group training, you have boot camps.
Yep.
What are the benefits of the individual areas that you have, and why would someone say do a one-on-one compared to say a boot camp?
Yeah, look, great question too, and it's something that is always hard for us because people want to go, oh, what's the price, or what do you charge, or I want to start training, and we're sort of like, well, hang on, like we've got all these different options. So what's your goal? What do you want to achieve first of all? Because if you want to do boot camp, it's probably a bit more general fitness, general tone. Great, you're trying to lose a bit of weight and tone up, it's good for that. But look, on the other side of the coin, one-on-one, if people have injuries to work around, rehab stuff, very specific strength goals or fitness goals for sports and athletes and things like that, we find the one-on-one suits that a lot more. So like for instance, if someone came in that was 60 years old and riddled with injuries and hadn't done a lot of training, didn't know where to start, you might go, look, based on your injuries and where you're at, probably the one-on-one training will suit you more at this stage.
Yep.
Possibly go to boot camps and things later, but you want to guide them on the right path. Where the boot camp and sort of, I guess, your more functional group training side of things. Look, if someone doesn't have a lot of injuries and things, and they just want to generally get fit and toned, that's definitely a good path to go down as well. So. And
that's where really individualising it to the different people that walk through the door is really important, isn't it?
100%, yeah. And that's what we're all about. We like to sort of sit down with you before you start anything and go over goals and injuries and work out a good sort of strategy or path to follow to get you to your goal, rather than just being like, okay, just come and sign up and train and who knows what's going on with you. We want to have the trainer sort of watching you and making sure that your diet's in the right spot, you're training consistently, and you're getting all the help you need to actually get to the goal you want.
So good.
Yeah.
So look, one of the big things that we hear about a lot is that people start out, they have great intentions, and then they just sort of fall off the wagon.
Yes.
What are some of the strategies that you guys would implement to actually help people get through that and actually be consistent? Because it's really about consistency, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. The body works on overload and things, so virtually the more consistent you are, the better it's going to be. So look, in terms of that, we have a ton of strategies we do for people and helping them out that way, because a lot of people come to us because they really struggle with that side of it. They might be able to train for a couple of weeks, but then it all falls apart.
Yep.
And then, as most people know, it's usually more of a 6-month game than a 3-week game. So we have a lot of, like, the trainers are making contact with text messages and phone calls privately outside of session times.
Yep.
Lots of tracking, so we track how many sessions you do per week and that sort of thing, and the trainers can see that. So even though you might not be seeing that particular trainer every day, they can see how many sessions you've done that week and that sort of thing. So they're making sure, okay, are they doing their 4 or 5 sessions a week? What's their diet like? How many calories are they having? All this, I guess, the nitty gritty stuff.
Yep.
There's a lot of follow up around all that.
Yeah, that's so
and it's very hard to escape when your trainers at the end of every week checking how many sessions you've done, what you've been eating, weighing you in every week, doing a lot of measurements and that sort of thing. It's pretty obvious what path someone's on and what we need to do. So.
And really, that's about keeping people accountable to their goals, and that's really part of the job, I'm sure, as a coach.
Oh, definitely, a massive part of it. Like I said, you could be doing PT twice a week, but if that's only 2 hours a week of training, what's happening the whole rest of the week?
Right.
What's happening with the diet? What other training are you doing outside of the PT? What's going on with everything? So it's really, we call it like finger on the pulse and big accountability with everything you're doing.
So one of the other big questions we often get asked in the clinics is, well, free weights versus machine weights. Is there a difference, and why should someone do, say, free weights compared to that, and is there a reason why you tell them to do so?
Yeah, look, massive difference. When you look at machine weights and things, they're very seated and supported, and they're good if you've probably got a few injuries or maybe haven't done a lot of weight training, where the free weights is a lot more stabilising muscles and things. So it's not really about which one's better. They've just got different purposes for different times.
Yep.
So usually you'll probably start off more on your machine weights and progress to free weights.
Yep.
But even when you've been training for years, you're still going to use a lot of free weights and then mix it in with machine weights for different things and different reasons. So yeah, look, it's all about, as you can see, using everything, using all the tools correctly to make sure you get the result you want. So.
Yeah, great. And look, finally, Adam, thank you so much for your time. Look, I used to look like Arnie back in the day,
Yep.
as you can tell.
Yeah.
So if I came to you now and said, look, I just wanted to put a bit of bulk back on,
Yep.
what would be the 5 key things that you would tell someone who is trying to bulk up a bit
Yep.
to actually do so?
Yeah, look, definitely comes back to that weights cardio mix we talked
Yep.
about before. So one thing I'd say is, you probably want to be doing sort of 70 to 80% weight training with a little bit of cardio to keep yourself fit and help you recover and that sort of thing, but really be more about the weight training at that stage. One big thing, I'd probably be splitting the body up a little bit. So
Yes.
instead of just coming in and doing the whole body twice a week or whatever, you'd probably look to do, a day of chest and back, might have another day of shoulders and arms and a day of just legs and abs, things like that. So we'll break the body up. And then, of course, making sure that your program and the actual weight training you're doing is going to give you that bulk you need, because obviously doing different exercise will have different effects on the body. So it's not just about coming in and lifting weights. There's a lot of science behind weight training and that sort of thing. So we're going to make sure the diet's right, the training's right, the amount of repetitions you're doing and that sort of stuff, the amount of rest you're having, all those things come into play. So,
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant. Well, look, Adam, thank you so much.
no, thank you. I
Brilliant.
appreciate it.
So appreciate your time. And look, guys, if you're interested in some personal training, get along to these guys. They're amazing. They're doing some amazing stuff as you hear. They're going to coach you. They're going to help you, and they're really going to support you. So check out the screen right now. There'll be information about Adam and all his gyms. Look, have a fantastic week. We look forward to seeing you next week, the same time. Remember, healing is a gift, health a responsibility. See you later.
Thank you.